So the problem we're going to work on today is a hissing toilet. Now you can either have one that hisses intermittently, which is more likely a flap issue, or you can have one that hisses consistently, which is more likely the intake valve problem. So what we're going to do is turn off our water intake, which I've already done. You're going to turn this off. That'll stop water from flowing into the toilet. And then by flushing, the valve, the flapper will open, the water will drain. Okay, just draining the rest of the water here. So sometimes the flapper can get a little corroded and may just need a cleaning, or you may need a new one if it loses some of its flexibility. Very easy to replace. Just pop it off on the two sides. Disconnect the chain, and you can replace that valve. My problem was not intermittent. So if it was intermittent, what would be happening is some of the water would be leaking out through the flapper, and then the valve would need to run. The intake water valve would need to run so that more water could fill the tank. So mine was not intermittent, so I know it's an actual problem here. Now I can replace this whole unit, very simple to do. But one of the things we can do is see about if there's just some corrosion here or if the washer inside is corroded. So that's what I'm going to do for my first step. All right, so what I'm going to do here is disconnect my float from the unit so that I can take off the top piece. I'm going to take these two clips here, remove the metal piece. Just slides right out of here. Okay, so now that we've disconnected the float, that stops the intake, right? So when the float rises, it stops the intake. We have disconnected that. I'm going to take off this top piece. How we do that is I'm going to hold the base with one hand, and I'm going to take this, push pressure down, and turn it a quarter turn to the left, and that will release it. So let me do that using two hands, holding the base. Pushing down. Okay, and that pops off. Now there's two issues here that we can look at. Sometimes there's some gunk that gets into this piece. So I'll show you how to flush that. And then other times, there's a washer in here. Try to put this hand down. This washer piece comes out and it may need to be cleaned or replaced. So that's our next step. Okay, so just taking this little washer piece out of here. You'll see there's a little pin there where it goes over. And it's a little bit dirty. So I'm going to clean that out and see if that might be our problem. Okay, so I've cleaned this up nice and good. I've rinsed it all out, got all the debris out of there. And now, as you can see, there's either a little plastic, sometimes they're metal. And you're going to put your washer right back in, sliding that right through the center there. All right, now this is ready to be reinserted. I'm going to go take a look at what the other issue could be there. Let's go back over to the toilet and take a good look. So our other major issue is there could be gunk that's in the unit itself, little bits of debris. So we can flush that out. And the simple way to do that is we put a cup over the top and just turn on the water off and on, not too fast, but use a little bit of, turn it on a little and then do it with a little bit more force. So start it and stop it a couple times, holding the cup above, and that will ensure that the water doesn't spray all over. And let's see if we can flush any debris out of there. All right, excellent job. Looks like that's pretty well cleared out. We've placed our washer back in the cap. We're going to reposition the cap on top. So again, I'm going to do the reverse of what I did to take it off. Place it on top. I'm going to apply pressure and do a quarter turn to the right. Okay, that's secure. And now I'm going to relock in float. We installed the metal rod through the float, and now we are going to reinstall the clip that holds the float, we're going to reinstall this metal clip at the bottom of the float to hold it in place. And then we'll make our adjustments. There. We have cleaned our washer and cleaned the gunk out of the cap. We replaced our cap, reinstalled the metal rod that holds the float, and the clip at the bottom of the float. We're ready to turn on the water and have the tank fill and see where we stand.